Hey, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about why 90% of Facebook ads fail. You can't even imagine being an ads girl, how many stories I hear of people telling me why their ads didn't work or they had tried different ads managers or ad agencies, and I get all of the bad stories. I get a few of the good ones too. But for the majority of people, I think it's really hard to make Facebook ads work. And I used to be on the other side of this video trying to figure out, how do I improve my success rate? Because occasionally I would launch ads or launch with a client and they would work, but I couldn't seem to always make it work or even make it work the majority of the time, right? So I learned there are 5 main mistakes that I was making, and I'm gonna share what those are in this video with you so that you can avoid them and hopefully increase your success rate as well. So the first thing is, I was getting targeting completely wrong, and you probably are too. Most people do. So here's the thing about targeting. 10% of targeting is the settings in the platform that you know of as targeting. So your keyword interest audiences, your lookalikes, your custom audiences, right? The other 90% is with your ad creative and with your offer. So your ad creative, how does that help you target? Well, the algorithm in real time is observing who is stopping their scroll, who is engaging further with this ad, and in real time, the algorithm is showing your ad to more people like that. So even if you have a really big audience container that's pretty broad, your ad is not gonna show to everyone. It's only gonna show to a very small subset based on who is engaging. So if your ad is engaging the wrong people, that's just going to exacerbate the issue, and it's gonna keep showing to the wrong people because the algorithm is getting it wrong based on who's engaging with your ad. So improving the hook rate, or basically the percentage of people who stop their scroll, and also making sure that whatever that first couple second glance is on your ad, that it is really going to speak to your audience, right? Your target audience. That is going to improve your targeting exponentially. So then how does the offer improve your targeting? It's kind of the same thing, but like your ad is on the platform, but your offer is off the platform. So your offer is like how you're presenting the value of your product and how you do that throughout your flow. So first of all, probably somebody comes to your landing page. If you're a lead gen company, maybe they just fill out their lead, right? They probably just, go to a thank you page. So that's kind of the extent of it. But if you're an e-commerce brand, then they probably click to your landing page, to the product page, and then they add to cart, initiate checkout, and purchase, right? The algorithm is observing what is happening on your website, and it is targeting according to people who are getting furthest in your flow. So it will always be doing that, whether or not you are telling it to do that, right? It automatically does that. So if people aren't really engaging with your website, or if people aren't really seeing the value of your product, if you're not building your offer well throughout your website, that is going to hurt your targeting. But if you do it well, you will start seeing a beautiful halo effect with your targeting. Your ads will start showing to more and more people likely to purchase, and you have that compound impact, right? Because people are responding more, and then your targeting is getting better, so more people will respond. So that is how targeting works. 10% platform, 90% ad creative and offer. Next, your ad creative has to be really strong. But here's what I didn't realize about ads. I always thought about ads like my ad copy and the video or the image and then the headline and the link, right? Those are like the main parts of a meta ad. So the parts are represented by how somebody is engaging with your ad, and it's defined by time periods. So the first 2-second glance is whether or not they're going to stop their scroll. That is the most important part, because if you don't stop their scroll, you've already paid. You pay on a cost per 1,000 impressions on meta ads, right? So you already paid and you didn't even get them to stop scrolling, right? So that's why it's so important that you have to focus on that first 2-second glance. So that's part 1. Part 2 is, do they watch further? So you want to interest them. And that's usually the next 3 seconds if it's a video ad, or you can also think about this if it's a static ad, then it's just the next 3 seconds that they're looking around, looking at the image, looking at the text that you have on your static image, or looking at the ad copy or whatever they're looking at, right? If it's a video ad, then you have another 3-second section where you are engaging them. So you have the hook, usually about 2 seconds, and then you have the interest, which is like, are they going to watch further? They're usually like, what is this? And then beyond that is when they're actually engaged. So the next 3 seconds is when you're actually engaging them. And if you can do those 3 parts well, so you capture their attention, you interest them, and you engage them, and all of that happens in about 8 seconds, they'll probably watch to the end of your video. So that is how you should build out your video ad creatives, and also think about your static image ads, because people will go through that same process and it takes around the same amount of time. So where does the ad copy come in? Well, the ad copy is supporting to all of that. I don't know if you've noticed this, but like when you're looking at an ad or even a post of any kind, usually the visuals are what capture your attention first, right? But then you'll kind of look up to the ad copy and be like, what is this? Or maybe to get some context, right? And a lot of times people also look at the comments next. So the comments are kind of like, is this legit? Are people, saying this is a scam? Or are people saying they love it? Or what are people saying, right? People want to know what other people are saying. So the comments are also really important. And then you'll probably get the click. So that's how you should construct your ads, and in that order, right? And so it's not about your video. It's about the first 2 seconds, then the next 3 seconds, then the next 3 seconds of your video, right? And that might sound a little bit intense, but it's actually less intense when you're executing, because you don't have to execute on 15 videos. You can just have one video that you make micro improvements to those areas, or maybe 2 to 3 videos if you want to do this really well, right? So it's actually less intense than you might think. And then don't forget the ad copy and the comments, because they're very supportive to the whole ad. And oftentimes people absolutely will look there before they click. The third thing is, I really had to learn about offers. And I used to think about an offer like discount or promo, right? But it's not that. It's the value that you're presenting for the price point that you're asking back. And that value has to be perceived as greater than the price. So if you have a lot of people clicking through and checking out your offer and they're bailing, it means they don't perceive the value as being higher than the price point for them personally. This past summer, I tried to launch an offer and it did not go well. I knew I could convince people to buy it if I really had have wanted to, but I didn't want to have to do that, right? I want an offer that people love, that people want. I don't even have to hardly sell it, because it's just so obvious what the value is. I had to revamp things. And now I'm launching a different suite of products that I think will be more aligned with what my customers perceive as value. The second thing that I want to mention about offer is that if you can get your customer to imagine themselves really benefiting from the value of your product or service, you are 90% of the way there to getting the action. The first time somebody uses your product is in their mind. And you can do that through your ads, your landing page. You don't have to have them, sitting right there physically in front of your product. So the more that you can help them imagine themselves really enjoying it, and a lot of times that's through watching somebody else that they relate to really enjoying it, right? Going through that same experience, you're gonna see such higher results from your ads. A good example of this is unboxing videos. That's why they work so well. So I don't know if you've seen like somebody, unboxing a product that you really are interested in maybe buying. It's so interesting. I love it. Most people love it. And the reason is because we are imagining ourselves also having that same experience. So that's why unboxing videos also do really well on paid ads. I talk so much more about really building your value and ways to do that in my new course called Make Money with Meta Ads. So if you want to grab it, it's under $50. I'll include a link in the show notes. Let's move on to number 4. So number 4 is ignoring your full funnel metrics. This is so important. It's very simple. So I'll explain it to you. Most marketers, they look at the click and they look at the conversion rate, but they leave out everything in between. And the conversion rate is really just an average of everything in between. So if you're a lead gen company, it's not as important, because usually people just click to your landing page and then they fill out the lead information and they go to the thank you page. But you could, for example, have a lot of drop off between the click and your landing page view, which would maybe mean that your landing page wasn't loading up fast enough, right? And then for e-com, it's obvious, right? You have the landing page view, product page view, add to cart, initiate checkout, and purchase. So if you can look at your full funnel metrics, which means just every step that your user takes, you follow them every step of the way and you look at where you're losing the most customers. And when you do that, you can focus your efforts. It's really been powerful for me to increase ROI from Meta Ads that way. Final thing, and this is probably my favorite. So iterating. I remember I was in Mexico City. I had my agency at the time. At the time, I probably had like 6 employees or something. And everyone was doing a lot, right? We were all so busy. We had so much passion. We cared so much. And we were all really smart people. And somehow that wasn't really translating to like our clients having tons of success, unfortunately. I was really kind of stuck with what I was talking about in the first of the video. Like some ads would work and most of them wouldn't. And I couldn't figure it out. And what I really focused on was improving what was already working, so iterating. But at the time, I didn't really realize how profound that was. I was more just like a little bit desperate to improve my clients' accounts. But what I started doing was heavily focusing on ads, right? So I would look at the top ads and volume wise, right? Not just like the top ones, like the cost per purchase is good. If it has one sale, it doesn't matter, right? I was looking at the ads that were getting the most volume because that means people were engaging with them. And I was trying to figure out, why are people engaging with this ad and not this one? They look almost the same. And when I started discovering, there's always a reason. I really thought before that ads were so random. And when I started realizing there's always a reason, it was so empowering to me because I realized that I can actually learn what works and I can repeat that to improve my success rate, which I've done. And it's really, really powerful. So let me give you an example. Like if you have one ad that has a higher hook rate than the other one, hold them up on your computer side by side and play one for 2.5 seconds and play the other one for 2.5 seconds and sit and think for 5 minutes, like, why do I think this one is doing better than this one? And take some notes and then ask your video editor or whoever's making your ads to tweak the other one to try to go further in the direction of what's working best. It is almost like clockwork. This will improve your ads, sometimes even overnight. So iterating on what's working well, you can also do this on your landing page. If you have a really good, click to add to cart rate, try to think about how you're building the value on your landing page and on your product page, and then see if you can use some of that in your ads, for example, right? So iterating doesn't just have to be ads. It can be across your full flow, but it works really, really, really well for ads. So those are the 5 things that I learned that unlocked so much potential for me. I can't even tell you. I'm really excited to share this with you. I'm excited for you to try these things out, like start tweaking things, start looking at your data differently, start thinking about your audience targeting differently. And I would love to hear from you to see if this also is as powerful for you as it's been for me. So that's it for today. I will see you in the next video.